So, Reed, can Cade be considered an all-star when you're on the worst team in the NBA, or do you should you hold that against a player in all-star voting?
I don't think you hold it against him because I think he's the only reason that team stays in games, and he's proven that when he just went 30-10 in the win. He scored 4 points a few games ago. He didn't play well last night. I'll be the first to admit that. But yeah, I think him being on such a bad team, he will get an all-star vote just because of that. The Pistons having a historically bad year. But I mean, I just looked at his stats. He's averaging like 23, 4, and 7. Like, I mean, he's averaging better stats than like an Anthony Edwards. I mean, some of the other guys that are starting at point guards too that are in the league. Obviously, he's not like Halliburton, or like a Doncic, but I mean, I definitely think that he should be considered for one. But I think team playing so bad, I don't think he'll end up making an all-star, which stinks. But again, I mean, Emmy is like the main popularity vote all-star type game. So
yeah.
I couldn't agree more. He's averaging 23, 4, and 7.3 assists a game by shooting 44.3%. The one thing I will say, he's got to work on this three-point shot more consistently in this offseason. But that also comes, I think he's taking a lot of bad shots at the end of the clock because as we know how bad this team is at shooting the three-point as a team. So I think once he gets better players around him and guys who can actually shoot, it's going to actually help his percentage. But he's doing everything he can. And I will say this: he's had a great attitude during this whole season, man. I know that they talked about him trying to get guys up in the locker room during that losing streak, and I'm happy for him. They was able to find a way to get a victory and snap that historic losing streak, man. It's embarrassing, like I said. You got to get this guy some help. As we all, I don't think there's anything to do. Maybe they get Siakam, but OG's off the table as we because they Toronto traded him to the Knicks. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but. We're just kind of all ready for the season to be over and just make some trades and just shape this roster. But I don't see it happening with the current front office that we have.